In a world where emotions were packaged, priced, and put on display, the market of sentiments thrived as the beating heart of society. Rows of stalls, adorned with vibrant displays of joy, melancholy, love, and anger, stretched as far as the eye could see. People, their faces masked in a spectrum of expressions, strolled through the market, exchanging their synthetic emotions like currency. Amidst this bustling, emotional bazaar, our protagonist, a soul, adrift in a sea of manufactured feelings, navigated the narrow alleys. The air hummed with the orchestrated melody of laughter and tears, a cacophony of emotions bought and sold. Each stall was a storefront to the soul, offering a transactional glimpse into the human experience. In this chapter of the rhythmic narrative, the protagonist grappled with the pervasive artificiality, wrestling with the notion that genuine sentiments had become a scarce commodity. As they weaved through the stalls, the market's vibrant facade masked an underlying emptiness, setting the stage for a journey that would uncover the true cost of happiness in a world where emotions were mere commodities. With a heavy heart, the protagonist approached a stall adorned with hues of radiant joy. The vendor, a charismatic figure in a vibrant robe, welcomed them with a practiced smile, offering a kaleidoscope of synthetic emotions neatly bottled and labeled. Driven by a yearning for solace, the protagonist hesitated only briefly before exchanging a handful of tokens for a dose of artificial happiness. As the vial touched their trembling fingertips, a surge of manufactured joy coursed through their veins, casting a fleeting glow upon their world. In the aftermath of the transaction, the protagonist experienced a transient euphoria, a momentary escape from the shadows that lingered within. The market, with its pulsating rhythm, seemed momentarily benevolent, and the protagonist, caught in the throes of synthetic delight, believed they had discovered the elusive key to contentment. Yet, even as the artificial joy unfolded, there lingered a subtle undercurrent of disquiet, a whisper of the emptiness concealed behind the radiant facade. In this chapter of the rhythmic tale, the protagonist grappled with the dichotomy of emotions bought and genuine fulfillment sought, setting the stage for a revelation that would redefine the very essence of happiness. As the initial euphoria of the purchased joy gradually waned, the protagonist found themselves ensnared in an unexpected emotional labyrinth. A haunting emptiness lingered beneath the surface, casting shadows on the synthetic radiance that had briefly illuminated their world. Struggling to reconcile the temporary high with the persistent hollowness, the protagonist began to notice the toll extracted by the market's emotional commerce. Connections with others, once vibrant and authentic, now bore the weight of a transactional undertone. The laughter shared in the market lost its resonance, echoing like a distant melody that failed to reach the depths of the soul. In quiet moments of introspection, the protagonist grappled with an unsettling truth. The purchased joy, rather than enriching their emotional landscape, had imposed an unseen burden. Relationships, once grounded in shared experiences, now teetered on the edge of artifice, leaving the protagonist to question the true cost of trading authenticity for fleeting happiness. In this chapter of the rhythmic narrative, the protagonist confronted the hidden toll of their foray into the market of sentiments, unraveling the delicate threads connecting genuine emotions and manufactured bliss. As the dissonance within their heart intensified, a seed of discontent took root, promising a journey of self-discovery amidst the market's captivating yet treacherous rhythm. Haunted by the echoes of synthetic joy, the protagonist embarked on a quest for authenticity in a world where genuine emotions had become elusive treasures. The market of sentiments, once a captivating symphony of colors, now loomed like a labyrinth of illusions. Driven by an innate yearning for connection, the protagonist navigated the bustling alleys, bypassing the stalls adorned with manufactured sentiments. In the quiet corners of the market, they encountered fragments of genuine emotion, fleeting whispers of laughter, raw expressions of sorrow, hidden amidst the orchestrated facade. As the protagonist delved deeper into the heart of the market, a sense of purpose blossomed. They sought the elusive source of unadulterated feelings, determined to unravel the true essence of happiness beyond the confines of transactional exchanges. In this chapter of the rhythmic tale, the protagonist's journey became a pilgrimage, guided by the metronome of their own heartbeat rather than the artificial rhythm of the market. The quest for authenticity, while daunting, beckoned them toward a revelation that promised to redefine not only their understanding of emotions, but also the very fabric of the world they inhabited. Amidst the orchestrated dance of synthetic emotions, the protagonist stumbled upon a clandestine gathering, a rebellion against the market's sterile tyranny. A group of individuals, their faces obscured by shadows, exchanged genuine smiles and shared unfiltered laughter, a stark contrast to the manufactured sentiments that dominated the market. Drawn to the rebels like a moth to a flame, the protagonist discovered a community united by a shared conviction: the rejection of the market's commodification of emotions. Here, in the hidden alcoves, they encountered a rebel emotion, untamed and unbridled, echoing the authenticity the protagonist had sought. As the rebel emotion whispered tales of genuine connections and unscripted joy, the protagonist grappled with a revelation that transcended the confines of the market. The rebellion, with its raw energy and unfiltered expressions, beckoned the protagonist to question their allegiance to the orchestrated rhythm that had once dictated their emotional landscape. In this chapter of the rhythmic narrative, alliances were forged in the shadows, and the protagonist found themselves at a crossroads, torn between the rebellion's call for authenticity and the alluring but empty symphony of the market of sentiments. The encounter with the rebel emotion became a catalyst, sparking a transformative journey that would challenge the very foundations of the protagonist's understanding of happiness. With the clandestine gathering's clandestinity unveiled, the protagonist found themselves thrust into the heart of the rebellion against the emotionally transactional regime. Shadows transformed into faces, and the once muffled voices of dissent now resonated as a chorus of authenticity. Led by charismatic figures who had dared to defy the market of sentiments, the rebellion sought to liberate emotions from the shackles of commerce. The protagonist, torn between the familiar allure of the market and the uncharted territory of the rebellion, confronted the stark contrast between the orchestrated symphony and the genuine cacophony of emotions. In the hidden chambers of dissent, the rebels shared stories of liberation, of breaking free from the confines of emotional commodification. The rebellion's manifesto echoed the protagonist's growing disillusionment as they grappled with the implications of participating in a society where even feelings had been subjected to market forces. In this chapter of the rhythmic tale, the rebellion's agenda became clear: to restore the purity of emotions, free from the constraints of artificiality. The protagonist faced a choice, torn between allegiance to the rebellion's call for authenticity and the seductive but hollow allure of the market of sentiments. As the rebellion unveiled its vision, the protagonist's path unfolded, setting the stage for a clash between two worlds, one dictated by genuine connections, the other by the transactional beat of commerce. Embracing the rebel cause, the protagonist embarked on a profound journey into the depths of self-discovery. Guided by the rebels, they navigated the uncharted territory beyond the market of sentiments, where the rhythm of genuine emotions awaited. In the quiet moments of rebellion, amidst flickering candlelight and whispered confessions, the protagonist confronted the complexities of their own desires. The allure of synthetic joy, once a beacon, now paled in comparison to the raw authenticity radiating from the rebels' unbridled expressions. As the protagonist delved into the recesses of their soul, they unearthed layers of vulnerability buried beneath the market's transactional veneer. The rebellion became a mirror, reflecting not only the societal discord, but also the internal disquiet that had driven them to seek solace in the market's artificial embrace. In this chapter of the rhythmic narrative, the journey into self-discovery became a voyage of reckoning, with the protagonist confronting their own role in perpetuating the emotionally transactional order. The rebel cause, now intricately entwined with personal growth, beckoned the protagonist to shed the layers of artificiality and confront the genuine cadence of their own emotions. As the protagonist delved deeper into the rebellion, the true cost of the market of sentiments revealed itself in stark, unyielding truths. The rebellion's hidden archives unveiled the dark underbelly of emotional commodification, exposing the exploitation and manipulation that had become woven into the very fabric of society. The market, once perceived as a source of happiness, now stood as an intricate system of control, orchestrating the ebb and flow of emotions for profit. The rebels, armed with revelations of clandestine operations and clandestine experiments, urged the protagonist to confront the ethical dilemma that underpinned the market's seemingly innocuous transactions. In the harsh light of truth, the protagonist grappled with the profound implications of their past participation in the emotionally transactional system. Relationships were revealed to be mere illusions. Emotional highs were exposed as calculated manipulations, and the very foundation of the protagonist's world crumbled under the weight of the true cost of happiness. In this chapter of the rhythmic narrative, the protagonist faced a reckoning, torn between the comforting embrace of the familiar market and the unsettling reality of the emotional exploitation it perpetuated. The revelation became a catalyst for a moral crossroads, propelling the protagonist towards a decision that would shape not only their personal destiny, but also the fate of a society built on the commodification of sentiments. Fueled by the searing revelations of the true cost, the protagonist confronted the architects of the emotionally transactional system in a climactic showdown. The market of sentiments, once an alluring symphony, now echoed with the discordant notes of moral ambiguity and societal exploitation. In the heart of the rebellion's sanctuary, the protagonist faced the puppeteers who had orchestrated the emotional commerce, wielding the market's rhythm as both a weapon and a shield. The air crackled with tension as accusations were hurled, and the protagonist demanded answers for the manipulation that had tainted their very existence. The confrontation became a battleground of ideologies, a clash between those who profited from emotional commodification and those who championed the unshackling of genuine sentiments. The metronome, once a guiding beat, now served as an impartial witness to the unraveling drama. In this chapter of the rhythmic saga, alliances were tested, and the protagonist grappled with the weight of accountability. As the confrontation reached its zenith, the fate of the emotionally driven society hung in precarious balance, and the protagonist's choices in this pivotal moment would reverberate through the corridors of time, shaping the destiny of a world on the brink of transformation. In the aftermath of the climactic confrontation, the protagonist stood amidst the fragments of the emotionally transactional system, a world now unshackled from the rhythms of exploitation. The rebellion, once a clandestine movement, emerged victorious, offering a vision of a society liberated from the constraints of artificial emotions. The architects of the market, faced with the irrefutable consequences of their actions, reluctantly acquiesced to the paradigm shift. The metronome's beat, once dictated by profit margins and calculated transactions, now echoed with the promise of a new emotional currency, one rooted in authenticity, empathy, and genuine connections. The protagonist, having played a pivotal role in the unraveling of the old order, now stood as a beacon of change. Together with the rebels, they spearheaded the establishment of a society where emotions were no longer commodities, but shared experiences, where the true cost of happiness was measured in sincerity rather than tokens. In this concluding chapter of the rhythmic odyssey, the resonance of the metronome transformed into a harmonious melody, marking the birth of a world guided by the cadence of genuine emotions. As the protagonist navigated the path towards rebuilding, they carried the lessons learned from the emotional upheaval, ensuring that the currency of authenticity would forever redefine the narrative of a society no longer enslaved by the transactional beats of the past. In the serene aftermath of the revolution, the protagonist found themselves standing on the threshold of a rediscovered world, a landscape liberated from the stifling constraints of the emotionally transactional past. The market of sentiments, once a dominating force, lay in ruins, replaced by a canvas where emotions flowed freely and authentically. Genuine connections flourished as the resonance of shared experiences echoed through the revitalized society. Laughter and tears, once mere commodities, became the pillars of a communal symphony, orchestrated by the unrestrained beats of the newfound emotional currency. The metronome, once a symbol of manipulation, now stood as a cherished relic, a reminder of the journey from discordant exploitation to harmonious redemption. The protagonist, having played a crucial role in this transformative saga, emerged as a guiding force, steering the collective consciousness towards a future where authenticity thrived. In this epilogue of the rhythmic narrative, the world rediscovered itself, and the protagonist, having traversed the tempest of emotional upheaval, found solace in the harmonious cadence of a society redefined. The lessons learned from the tumultuous journey echoed through the corridors of time, ensuring that the melody of authenticity would forever be the enduring legacy of a world reborn.